One thing I learned about this movie is don't mess with white people.
You're listening to the MCSFO podcast, where we speak one language, sci-fi. Welcome back to the MCSFO podcast. This is your host, Amanda Ray. So we had the pleasure of working on the promotion for the sci-fi thriller, The Invisible Man by Leigh Whannell. And we got some live reactions immediately following an advanced screening of the film. But don't worry, part one of this episode is spoiler free. So don't worry if you haven't seen it yet. We didn't ruin it for you. But after you go, hopefully watch the film, come back and listen to part two of this episode for a full-on spoiler review where some of these same folks dive a little deeper into their opinions of the films and give a little bit more detail. And you might find that some of these folks, have the same feeling and perception that you did about the film. So for now, here's some live reaction fresh out of the theater after watching The Invisible Man.
This is Zonga Fielding with the MCSFO podcast, and I'm here with a whole bunch of people. I will save what I have to say till the end, and I'll let someone else go first as usual.
My name is Eddie Hines.
And do you have any podcasts or anything that you work with?
Well, we're with the Metro Atlanta Geeks.
Oh, Metro Atlanta Geeks.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
So what did you think about the movie?
One thing I learned about this movie is don't mess with white people.
Yeah, you can say that about this movie. Anything else?
Very good suspense, a nice twist at the end. I like how they made the audience go one direction, but then they took you in a whole different direction without leaving behind the story nuggets that you can put together at the end and say, oh, that made sense.
Any final thoughts on the movie for you?
The director should get some good credit because he took a movie that people went in with low expectations and made them feel better about their choice.
And what were your thoughts about the movie?
I'm Mary, just a fellow moviegoer. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Very suspenseful, like my man to my right said. Very suspenseful. I was able to follow it from beginning to end. Enjoyed the perspective. It was slow. You didn't know what was coming next. As though I was watching a thriller or a fright movie. I was jumping out of my seat. Some good stuff.
Okie dokie, cool. Any final thoughts about it?
I came in with expectations from the trailer, so they weren't low, they were actually high, and I think it lived up to it.
Oh, so you liked the trailer then?
I did. The trailer is what got me going, like, ooh, I need to see that, I have to see that, yeah.
Now let's see how about JB's opinion real quick.
Y'all already know who it is, man. It's J Boogie with the hoodie. I'm back, and I'm going to be that guy. I ain't like it all that much.
Wait, what'd you say?
I ain't like it all that much. Okay. I felt
What?
like some scenes were a little bit too long in the tooth. A lot of things were kind of drawn out. I just wasn't a fan. I just wasn't a fan of it. It's not the worst movie I've seen this year, though.
Okay, we have another gentleman. What's your name, sir?
My name is Joe. Yeah, I'm with the Atlanta Ghostbusters.
Neat. We have a Ghostbuster here. So tell us what you thought about the movie.
I was surprised. I'll admit I didn't come in with very high expectations. I thought the trailer laid out the entire movie in front of me, so I didn't think I was going to get many surprises. Mm-hmm. And that trailer was a huge bait and switch, so that was fun. Okay. I thought they got the paranoia, like the rising dread really well, which is what I like in horror movies, more than like jump scares. They set up a lot of the stuff early on, which was cool. And like the overall theme of just like the controlling villain that's like gaslighting her the whole time, that worked. I wasn't sure how heavy-handed that was going to be, if that was going to be believable or not. So personally, I was into it.
So my question is, what do you think about it in comparison to Hollow Man? Because not many people are familiar with the original, and the approach with this one that I felt was different. Can you think of any comparisons to that one with Kevin Bacon?
Yeah, so what I remember from Hollow Man, because I haven't seen it since it right after it came out. I had no reason to rewatch it, but one, it was kind of gratuitous. Like everyone remembers like the one really like overtly like creepy scene in that one where he's like assaulting the lady in her sleep. Yeah. And two, that was back in like that era in the 90s where CG was just really hot for everyone, and so it was all a special effects movie. And this one uses special effects, but it's not gratuitous with it, so it plays well. And I feel like they constrained like the budget on this one, so you'd focus more on the actual story being told. Whereas, like, I don't really remember the story much of Hollow Man. Like, I just remember a couple of scenes and a couple of like the effects where he was like, where you could see his veins but not his skin. That was creepy, but it wasn't a good movie.
Right. I think the only reason why I was curious to see what you thought of it is because JB earlier had talked about the pacing of the film and other things that I kind of felt like this is such an older classic that they updated, but they kept certain things from the old days. Like the pacing is exactly what horror movies and thrillers were. So we're used to things starting off and racing. When you have these calm periods where there's not much going on and it's psychological and you know he's there, that's a Hitchcock thing.
So as far as the movie goes for me, I thought it was okay. My opinions are sort of mixed. It was kind of a decent slow burn, but I feel that it needed more. As everyone was talking about the sound, we were in a Dolby cinema with the surround and everything, so it was booming. So all the instances where everything was like ramped up, you could hear like the breathing behind you, and there weren't really a lot of jump scares in the movie. There was maybe about like one, and I'm the type of person who kind of hates jump scares, and they don't really scare me. They more so just piss me off instead. It's more of a wait till it comes out on like Netflix or video, see it at home with like your friends in the dark room, or see it in one of these Dolby theaters because that was a nice experience. It's just the surround sound is really staying with me.
This concludes our show for today, but if this is your first time visiting, then welcome aboard. The Multicultural Sci-Fi Organization, or MCSFO for short, markets, promotes, discusses, and educates in the medium of science fiction and technology with a unique focus from an international perspective. We promote diversity and inclusion in the sci-fi, fantasy, and comic book genres. We would love to hear what you guys think about today's topic, or if you just want to chime in, you can post your comments on our Facebook page at facebook.com/multiculturalsci-fi.org or tweet us at twitter.com/MCSFO, or check out our new YouTube page. And please remember to follow and share this podcast on your social media pages. But I'll leave you guys with this one excerpt from our favorite line in the movie After Earth. Danger is real, but fear is a choice. Until next time, take care. I'm a solar gypsy.